Hello, my lovely friends. It's Emma here from Just a Girl Who Loves Elvis. I hope you're wrapped up warm today. Maybe you're still in your pyjamas. Maybe there's a mug of tea going cold beside you. Maybe the house feels quieter now. That gentle hush that always seems to settle in on Boxing Day. Christmas Day has passed, but the feeling of Christmas, that doesn't disappear overnight. And today, I wanted to spend a little time with you, talking about Elvis Presley on Boxing Day. Not the performer, not the headline, not the legend, but the man in the quiet space after the magic. Because if Christmas Day was about giving, Boxing Day was about exhaling. And Elvis, he understood that. So wherever you are today, tired, content, emotional, reflective, or somewhere in between, you're not alone. Let's slow this moment down together. Boxing Day was never about spectacle for Elvis. It wasn't about cameras. It wasn't about performances. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone. For Elvis, Boxing Day was about rest, physical, emotional, and spiritual. After the intensity of Christmas Day, the visitors, the phone calls, the giving, the responsibility, Boxing Day allowed Elvis to simply be. And I think that mattered more than people often realise. Elvis gave so much of himself to others that quiet days weren't indulgences. They were necessary. Boxing Day gave him permission to slow down without guilt. Graceland didn't suddenly lose its warmth on Boxing Day. The lights stayed up. The trees stayed decorated. The music still drifted through the house. Boxing Day at Graceland was softer, gentler, almost cocoon-like. Elvis loved familiar comforts, familiar rooms, familiar routines, familiar people. Boxing Day allowed him to move through Graceland without pressure. He might wander into the living room in the late morning, still in casual clothes, hair unstyled, coffee in hand. No schedule, no demands, just presence. And I think that quiet rhythm suited him. People often forget how emotionally demanding Christmas could be for Elvis. He felt deeply responsible for everyone around him. Family, friends, staff, fans. That sense of responsibility didn't switch off just because it was a holiday. So Boxing Day wasn't laziness, it was emotional recovery. Elvis needed time to refill his own cup. He might sit quietly listening to gospel music or old recordings, or simply let the room stay silent. And silence for Elvis could be healing. Elvis loved food, we all know that. But Boxing Day wasn't about indulgence for show. It was comfort food, leftovers, simple plates, nothing fancy. Food that felt familiar, food that grounded him. I think there's something beautifully human about that. About not needing anything elaborate the day after Christmas. Just warmth and familiarity. Boxing Day was when conversations slowed down. Elvis could talk without interruption, without expectations. Sometimes those conversations were light and playful, jokes, teasing, laughter drifting through the room. Other times they were deeper, reflective, quietly emotional. Elvis was someone who thought a lot about life, faith, love and purpose, and Boxing Day gave him space to explore those thoughts without rushing. Boxing Day was often a reflective day for Elvis spiritually. Not performative, not preachy, just personal. He might return to gospel music, scripture or quiet prayer, not because it was expected, but because it comforted him. Elvis believed deeply, but gently. Boxing Day allowed him to reflect on gratitude, not just for success, but for survival, connection and love. What I think Elvis valued most about Boxing Day was the absence of obligation. No need to impress, no need to give, no need to perform. And I think there's something incredibly healing about that. Elvis spent most of his life being needed. Boxing Day allowed him to exist without being required to deliver anything. That's why I think this day still matters. Boxing Day gives us permission to rest, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to sit with our feelings, to hold on to the warmth without forcing cheer, to let Christmas linger gently instead of rushing it away. And I think Elvis understood that instinctively. So, my lovely friends, if today feels quiet, that's okay. If today feels emotional, that's okay too. If today feels comforting, hold on to it. Elvis Presley didn't rush Boxing Day, and neither should we. Let Christmas stay with you a little longer. Let warmth linger. Let kindness carry forward. Thank you for spending this quiet day with me. Thank you for loving Elvis the way I do, gently, deeply, and humanly. And until we meet again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep a little Elvis magic in your heart.